Yo, what's good everyone, it's your boy Game Time UK and I've got a really fun review today. In a world where gaming seems to be heading down such a negative road, it's nice to be able to review a game that keeps the spirit and essence of video games alive. Super Mario Wonder is such a magnificent step in the right direction for the 2D series and I'm going to explain why. Let's get into the review. I'm not going to spend too long talking about the new Super Mario Bros. Series. We've all experienced franchise fatigue in that lineup of games, despite them being decent to sometimes great platforms in their own right. The 2D Mario games always took pride in establishing new identities with each iteration, so having Nintendo copy and paste the new Super Mario Bros. Formula for over a decade was deflating to say the least. Mario Wonder truly breathes new life into the franchise. The biggest and most immediate improvement for me is the visual design. This game oozes charisma from every aspect of its visuals. They've absolutely nailed the colour palette that makes everything just so interesting to look at. I really enjoy the contrasting colours that seem to make everything pop, especially if you're playing on the Nintendo Switch OLED screen. The resolution is about as crisp as it can get on a Nintendo Switch, and the game runs at an incredible 60 FPS that really highlights the beautiful animation work. I was actually quite impressed to see the use of great lighting and shadows to ground the character in the game environment too. And oh my days is the animation work excellent. Mario and the gang are more expressive in this game than they've been in any other 2D Mario game. They use some really cool tricks to pull this off, such as Mario showing both of his eyes and most of his face despite the camera angle being side on. This is such a little change, but it allows Mario to fully express himself to the player as opposed to only seeing one side of his face in the previous games. Mario will smile as he jumps, striking his iconic pose, whilst his eyebrows are displayed over his cap to further capture that expressive detail. This is exactly why the game looks so good in animation, because of all these simple yet effective design choices that would usually go unnoticed until you really dig deep and search for them. One of my favourite new animations for Mario is going through the warp pipe as he squeezes through, loses his cap in the process, and snatches it out of thin air. You also get a split-second emotion blur when hitting top speed, which gives you a great sense of momentum. Honestly, the visual feedback in this game is excellent and it really allows these characters to express themselves, and the consistency in the animation work really ties the visual package together. From the get-go, there's nothing too interesting with the story. Bowser is up to his old shenanigans again as he interrupts Mario and company's visit to the Flower Kingdom and steals the Wonder Flower to wreak havoc across the land. Florian, the Prince of the Flower Kingdom, accompanies the player on their journey to claim the Flower Seeds so that he can put a stop to Bowser's evil plan. It's about as basic as every other Mario game, but I guess at least here Princess Peach hasn't been kidnapped, but that's about the only notable thing in regards to the story. I do however enjoy the mini-stories that play out when you enter a new zone. There is often a mini-plot that plays out alongside the main objective in each zone, which is a nice touch to keep things interesting and give you brief adventure storylines to follow alongside the main quest. With this being a Mario game, the strongest aspect is in its gameplay. The controls are tight and responsive. Mario's sense of momentum feels just right in this game. The control you have over Mario on the ground and whilst in mid-air gives you the tools to navigate even the most difficult challenges. You have some Mario staples such as the spin jump and ground pound, but some of the best additions to Mario's movesets comes in the form of equipable badges that bring some added flavour to navigate the world. I won't spoil the best modifiers here, but 2 early in-game unlocks give you the ability to swim faster using a dash or glide using your cap. You can only bring in 1 badge per stage, and I have found that experimenting with different badges on the same level adds a fresh gameplay experience, although you will more than likely opt to choose for your favourite and stick to it. Great movement in a Mario game is essential, but it's all for nothing without great level design, and I'm not surprised to see Mario Wonder has levels that are not only functional to play, but they are wonderfully creative and paced. Running through the stages is great, with your usual Mario hazards. You've got your bottomless pits, enemies littering the stage, moving platforms, secret collectibles, stage exits to find, and the list goes on. All these combine with the stage theming to create a perfect blend of platform design philosophy, but it also gets shaken on its head with the inclusion of Wonder Seeds, which I will touch on in a moment. We are blessed with the inclusion of several new enemies that feel like a breath of fresh air whilst fitting into the game series perfectly. I have always loved how Mario enemies can interact with the environment and modify the gameplay. Kicking a Koopa shell at enemies and using them to break blocks is just as fun now as when I was a kid. But we now have new enemies that can further interact with the game world, such as this crazy fellow that swallows up everything in his path, including your power-ups if you're not quick enough. They're also beautifully expressive, which brings each of these enemies that you encounter to life. And speaking of power-ups, we have some returning classics such as the mushroom and fire flower, but we also have this incredible elephant power-up that is so much fun to use as you spray water along the environment, slap enemies across the screen with your trunk. That is so satisfyingly impactful. I never quite got tired of it. Other power-ups allow you to create platforms to bounce off of and capture enemies inside bubbles, or we also have this other power-up that allows you to drill into the environment, which will have you looking for creative ways to navigate the stage and hunt for secrets. The suite of power-ups in this game is strong, and I found fun and functionality in every power-up I used. The main gameplay feature comes in the form of wonder seeds. You will hunt these seeds during levels to drastically shake up and alter the levels as you play them. I entered every stage wondering what unique modifier I was going to be able to enjoy, and honestly I can't believe how inventive Nintendo got when designing these gameplay sections. Some of it has no regard whatsoever to your typical 2D game design as you walk along the backdrop of stages, whilst other wonder seeds just litter the screen with incredible effects that task you with different challenges. I am being purposefully vague here as to not ruin some of these wonder seeds that would take away some of the excitement when you enter in a new stage. It's best to go into these wonder seeds blind because they are trippy, level bending challenges that are stupidly cool to play through. It's a true sensory and creative overload, and I'm absolutely here for it. Lastly, the music is phenomenal. It ties together the whole package and lends itself well to the expressive and animated nature of the game. I particularly enjoy how obtaining the elephant power-up modifies the music as you play. If I had to express some criticism, it would be in some of the bonus stages that aren't particularly interesting or fun to play. One of the bonus stages has you racing to the finish line, whilst another one has you doing a climbing challenge. And they're fine, but there is a level that focuses on getting hidden collectibles and it's a real pace killer. I'm not interested in it in the slightest. I'm not too fond of the boss encounters either. People grew tired of facing the Koopalings in the new series. But now we just have this onslaught of repetitive Bowser Jr. encounters, in which the fight basically stays the same, but we get different stage elements each time we fight him. It's just not that much fun. And I would have enjoyed new boss encounters with unique strategies to beat them that are just as creative as the rest of the game. It's just really jarring that the rest of the game pushes 2D platforming boundaries that refresh the genre, but these Bowser Jr. encounters are straight from Mario Bros. 3. The world map shows the difficulty of each stage before entering, and I found these to be somewhat representative of the challenge that awaits, but not accurate enough to warrant the system. The rest of the world map is great to explore, secrets to find, collectibles to hunt, and I really enjoy it when a Mario game has these fun explorable maps as it connects the whole world together. This game features two currencies. You have your standard coins that bag you an extra life once you hit 100, but we also have the purple coins that can be spent at shops throughout the world. You can spend these on badges, extra life, seeds, and standees. The standees are used in multiplayer. I haven't managed to play the local multiplayer or the online properly yet, and I think the standees are used to revive other players or highlight secrets. When online, you can see other players working through the same level as you, but it doesn't allow for direct interaction with each other's game world outside of being able to provide a revive or visual hints. I've been explaining Mario's moveset throughout the video, but the truth is, there's a whole cast of characters here that you play the game with. I use Mario for my entire run because he's my guy, but having the whole cast here is great. So, in conclusion, Mario Wonder is 2D platforming perfection and is the modern equivalent to Super Mario World on the SNES. In a world where developers are focusing on live services, microtransactions and predatory practices, all while going bust because they've blown a small fortune on some uninspired game that's pretending to be a mover, it's great to see Mario Wonder take it back to basics, avoid the politics, and provide us with a game that's wildly inventive, immensely fun, and gameplay focused. The industry is a much better place for having a game like this in it, and if I had to rate it, it would get 5 out of 5. So, thank you for watching, consider hitting that like button and smashing that subscribe button for me. It's your boy GameTime UK, peace out.